Yo, what's poppin' everyone, and welcome back to the channel. AtlasTCG here. I'm gonna jump right into things today because we just saw some releases last night, or some translations from Temporal Forces. Japan set is SV5M. Might be two sets, whatever. Regardless, we're gonna be getting this set in March when it comes to North America and the rest of the world. And there's some pretty cool cards. I mean, C-Dot was one of the cards released, but that's not necessarily the card we're going to be looking at. So without further ado, I'm going to be jumping right into it. So yeah, C-Dot seems like more of a means to an ends to evolve. Nuzleaf seems more of a means to an ends to evolve. And Shiftry is kind of interesting here. I mean, super cool art. Shiftry is an underrated Pokemon. Choose 3 of your opponent's benched Pokemon. Your opponent shuffles any other cards attached to them. So you could choose your opponent's Lumineon, their Squawkabilly, and their Manaphy, and shuffle all their other bench Pokemon away. In a world where Counter Catcher exists, Boss's Orders exists, and a bunch of support Pokemon exist, you either have to underbench against Shiftry or just have a lot of really great Pokemon in play. I'm not sure if this is going to be a deck, a control element, but there's a lot of really cool cards released in this set, so I think this card's kind of cool. Got Connie. When you play this card from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your next turn, you may heal all damage from your active grass Pokemon if you do discard all energy from that Pokemon. Okay, so it's kind of like Cheryl for a grass Pokemon in an ability. I'm sure this could be like okay. Like these are the cards that I have like in a separate, like I usually carry like an Ultimate Guard box around, shout out Ultimate Guard, with all of my maybe good cards. So if you're picking these cards up online, like whatever, you're gonna have them. If you have them in real life, like this is a card that I'd have like a 2/2 line of, just in case. And it's like just in case that like 2 years from when the card's printed, it becomes like filthy, busted, broken. Could be cool. We got Reller. I think this Pokemon looks so funny, by the way. There's something about it that just like makes me like smile and like laugh and giggle every single time I see it. Rapska says prevent all damage from and effects of attacks done to your bench Pokemon from your opponent's Pokemon. So this is like Manaphy and Jirachi together. And I think that this is just really cool. We saw this on a Machoke from a few sets back, maybe like a few years ago. And when I say a few years ago, I mean like 5 years ago or something like that. This card's going to be seeing some play to some degree, especially if a deck wants to protect its bench. I think it's only as relevant as the format that it exists in. But Rapska seems like it's a well-welcomed card because I like having an answer to everything, right? Like, if Charizard's the best deck in format, I want there to be a good grass Pokemon that we can play. If bench damage snipe and bench damage counters are a thing, I want Rapska to be an option. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to have options. We've already covered over Iron Leafs, but it does seem like it's going to be one of the better cards from the set. So check out the last videos. I've covered the Buddy Poffin, and I also covered when we first saw these cards. So jumping into some more, again, like I'm going to skip over the Litten and the Torracat unless they're super relevant. Incineroar says attacks by this Pokemon cause colorless less for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So if they have 4 benched, you're doing 240 for 1 fire, which is actually a really good amount of damage, which is super cool. And I think that's giving us some options there. Covered Gouging Fire previously. It's cool to see a new Totodile. That's a sick art, by the way. When I was growing up as a kid, my dad used to always play a Feraligatr deck, so it's cool to see these things. And there's Feraligatr, so once during your turn, you may put 5 damage counters on this Pokemon. If you do this, Pokemon does 120 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. 280 for 2 is alright. I mean, it's not bad in any capacity. I just don't know if we're ever gonna like. I mean, you wanna know what? It could be good. I think we just need to have the right kind of like everything for it. So we'll see if it ends up playing out well. Feraligatr seems kind of cool, but cards like this tend to be more mid than very good. We'll see if we'll see how it plays out, because again, we're still like revealing the whole set one card at a time. We got Wiglet here. Okay, so we don't have a Wugtrio. Search your deck for an item. That's fine. Like whatever. I think it's funny that they're all like lined up, ready to go. Covered Walking Wake. New Pikachu. Shout out Pikachu. Pikachu's like almost every single set. 50 damage to each other Pokemon in play with any damage counters on it. That's okay. Oh, there's Wugtrio. So it's a Terra Pokemon. Discard up to 3 energy cards from your hand. This attack does 60 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon for each energy card you discard in this way. Okay, so you could just like pitch 3 energies from your hand and snipe for 180 on like a Luminion or a Squawk. I can see that being okay. Defending Pokemon can't retreat. Like, this card's either like situationally good or like not good. And I mean, I could see this being in a water type deck. Maybe there's like another what trio we'd play with this. I need to think about it a little bit more, but like sniping your opponent's Pokemon has got to be some kind of cool, right? And maybe a water type deck having is going like maybe there's something that's weak to lightning and we could just hit the active for a single energy for like 360. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have some options. Iron Hands we saw, Iron Thorns we saw, we got Giraffe Rig. Does 10 damage for each damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon. Attacks like that are okay. I did see this one earlier on Twitter. So Solosis and Duocean are eventually evolving into Reuniclus. Let me know how you pronounce it in the comments below. Please, 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 please. Look at the top 8 cards of your deck and put any number of Pokemon you find there onto your bench. Shuffle the other cards into your deck. I think it's okay. I mean, I think it's actually probably more than okay because you can be searching out stage 2 Pokemon. So that changes my mind already. There's that supporter that you could put 2 cards on the top of your deck so we could be able to search out things that we want. When it comes to EX Pokemon that we might want to have in play, we could search for like a Gardevoir EX. We could search for a Pidgeot EX. You could search for as many because we're looking for the top 8. So I think like something like this is like kind of interesting and it could breed a bunch of like really cool decks and combos that we never saw before. So even if it never sees like real competitive success, and I think that this card could see real competitive success, just the attack, just having the option is cool enough. I'm all about the options, right? So the thing that I like so far about this set, there's not a lot of filler. We've already covered over a lot of the other cards in the sets, but everything seems generally good. So this seems like one of our best sets in a long, long, long time. So I'm excited about it. 40 damage, discard a random card from your opponent's hand. 220, not really great. Screamtail, Flutter Mane, we've already covered. Iron Valiant, we covered? No, this is a different card. We covered this Iron Valiant before. Look at the top 4 cards of your deck and put them back in any order, whatever. 100 damage if you played a future supporter from your hands. This says 100 more damage. I could see that being pretty cool. 200 damage on a single prize card Pokemon could be interesting enough. We haven't covered Relicanth again in one of these cards I saw on Twitter. Each of your evolved Pokemon can use any attacks from its previous evolutions. So I think we got to look at some of these other evolutions to see if there's anything that's like cool underneath them. So one thing that someone brought up on Twitter was that there's a Litten that does extra damage based off the damage counters on your Incineroar. So we might be able to play Relicanth in a deck like this, build up some damage on a 320 HP Pokemon, and hit for a lot of damage. So I think it opens up a whole world of things. So Relicanth is something that I'm really excited about. Just because, again, like, we've opened up a lot of, like, floodgates when it comes to this set, and it seems like we're ready for some, like, exciting gameplay. It might not necessarily all just be, like, Charizard versus Lost Tina, you know what I'm saying? So there's some cool things that are coming out in the sets. Again, I get a lot of information on Twitter. If you haven't got a chance to check it out, Twitter is really where it's at, or X, I guess. Discard the top card of your opponent's deck. If you play an Ancient Supporter, discard 3 more cards. We can discard 4 by playing, like, a Professor Sata's or whatever. I think that a card like this is actually really cool because we have a lot of mill resources. So discarding the top 4 cards of your opponent's deck at a time, this is like better Durant in a lot of ways because we don't need to have all the Pokemon in play. We could build this up really easily. We could even play double Turbo Energy with this. I think Great Tusk seems like pretty great. We've seen these. Ooh, I like how that Haunter looks. He's like, you caught me. Whenever your opponent attaches an energy from their hand to one of their Pokemon, put damage counters on that Pokemon. Move an energy from your opponent's active from one of their bench. I can see Gengar being like... Honestly, my first thought are this is like below mid. I just don't see it. I think it's like okay. But we'll see. I think it's... Again, it's like okay. Cool. We got Farigiraf. Prevent all damage onto this Pokemon by attacks from your opponent's basic Pokemon EX. Okay, that's cool. Might be hard to get out though. Like cards like Mimikyu and stuff like that are like already like not the greatest. Does 30 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. To me, this seems like okay. I can't say it's bad. I can't say it's good. Beldum, what does this do? Once during your turn, you may look at the top 4 cards of your deck and attach any number of basic metal energy cards you find there to your Pokemon any way you like. This could be a really cool way to power some things up, especially with that new supporter that we have that allows you to put the top cards of your deck. Yeah, because you look at the top 4. So you could put some stuff on top of your deck, attached to however you like. That could be cool. So we might see Metang power up some other Pokemon. 60 damage during your opponent's next turn. Meter, yeah, I think that Metagross is kind of mid, but okay. Yeah, I think that Metang is cool. We got that going on there. What does Iron Treads do? As long as this Pokemon has feature booster cap, it's fighting in metal. 60 damage, move, and energy. I don't know if it matters to be psychic or metal and fighting, but we'll see. 30 damage for each of your ancient Pokemon in play. That seems pretty good. 130. So I mean, for each ancient Pokemon in play, it's an ancient. So I mean, I guess 180 for 2 could be pretty cool, and we could power this up turn 1. So I think we got some decent ancient support. Rhydon does a 40 damage, search your deck for 2 basic light energy cards and attach them to your future Pokemon in any way you like. And then 160, I mean, I think that sounds pretty cool too. So I like that there's a lot of ancient and future support in this set. It seems like we actually could have like dedicated archetypes of like a future box or a ancient box or something like that. I think those could be pretty cool. I don't know if I covered this before. I saw this. I think I saw this earlier in the week. The Dunsparce says once during your turn you may draw 3 cards. If you do, shuffle this Pokemon and all cards attached to it into your deck. So you draw 3, shuffle it back into your deck, and it's not a liability on your bench. So I think the Dunsparce could be kind of cool. When it comes down to it, we have a way to clear our bench. We have a way to not deck out when it comes down to it. So I could see the Dunsparce seeing some play. Not entirely sure in which deck I'd want to see some play with this, but I do like how it works out in general. Heal all damage. So we got some new trainer cards. So Bianca's Sincerity. Heal all damage from one of your Pokemon that has 30 HP or less remaining. So if your opponent just missed, we can Bianca and heal. I think that sounds really cool. We might be able to apply damage counters to our own Pokemon in some way, or move damage counters to one of our Pokemon in some way. I think that Bianca's Sincerity could be kind of cool there. So, interesting supporter card for sure. That is a supporter, right? Yeah, it's a supporter. I just want to make sure that it's not a trainer card because that'd be crazy. This is the card that I keep on talking about. Cryptomaniac's Deciphering. Look at the top 2 cards. We did cover that before. I don't think we have translations for these cards yet. From what I remember, this was draw a card from some. This is going off of the translations. So search your deck for, or not search your deck. Draw a card for each of your ancient Pokemon in play is what this A-Spec does. That's pretty cool. Could be good for an A-Spec deck, but I think that the Guzma A-Spec might be a little bit better. Your Pokemon have 1 less retreats, and if they have 30 HP or less, a lot of 30 HP or less in the sets, they have 0 retreats. Don't remember what Eerie did. I didn't see that. Each player discards cards and they have 5 cards in their hands. So if your opponent ever builds up a big hand size, I could see something like this being cool. Also another tool for control decks. We got Reboot Pod. Attach a basic energy card from your discard pile for each of your future Pokemon in play. This could power up Iron Hands EX turn 1. Could be pretty cool there. We'll have to see how that plays out. But Reboot Pad seems really cool. And that's what we got going on for those new cards revealed. Again, I'm going to continuously go through. You can see that we're starting to get a decent bit of the sets. When it comes down to it, I don't know. I'm going to scroll up to the top and just see what does this prospective set list look like. It looks like we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know if they filled that out fully yet. Might be one of those things where we have we might have a few more cards coming out there, but it seems like we're getting filled up with the set right now, so that's kind of cool. We'll have to continuously look and learn. If you're looking to pick up any of these cards, pre-orders are going to be happening up soon at any of our sponsors at PTCGL Store, Kayfabe, and AtlasTCG, so check out the description for access to all of that. We have discount codes for a lot of them. And if you want to support the Shuffle Squad anymore, check out our Patreon at patreon.com/TSSWin. We'll probably have some articles on these cards coming up and a few other things, so stay tuned for all that great stuff. Like, share, subscribe, and I will catch up with all y'all later. Hit you up in the comments. Peace out and have a great one. Want to support the Shuffle Squad? Be sure to check out all of our sponsors in the description to pick up Pokemon TCG singles, sealed, and PTCG live codes. Hey trainers, tired of having too many cards lying around? I know that feeling, and I know what a hassle it is to try and sell those cards. But selling bulk is now easier than ever with TCG Bulk. Find tons of potential buyers in a single place. You just download the app, look for the best buyer near you, and carefully pack your bulk, ship it, and you get paid. It really is that simple. Turn the cards you don't want into the cards you absolutely need for your next deck. You made it to the end. Thank you so much for watching this entire video from the Shuffle Squad. Honestly, from the bottom of our hearts, we appreciate each and every person that supports our content, watches what we have going on every single day, every single week, even from time to time, and continuously allows us to have a forum to project our creative content towards the Pokemon TCG community. So if you haven't already, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and even leave a comment to help boost the YouTube algorithm. That being said, we'll catch you with our next video. Thanks again. Take it easy.